Good evening. Welcome to Wednesday guided meditation session at Vajrayana Institute. I'm Wai Cheong. So I usually will guide 2 meditations over the next hour. And this evening, I thought maybe we can explore the theme of how to work with our distraction as well as our downness of mind. So these two, distraction, scattering of our attention, and the opposite, drowsiness, downness, lack of energy of the mind. These are the two main hindrances or obstacles we encounter in our meditation. So when people meditate, either they find their mind is too active, too scattered, the attention is easily distracted, or they find that there's too little energy in the mind or the body. Everything feels very heavy, very dark, very dull, and there's a greater tendency of drifting towards drowsiness, towards sleep. Yeah. So we can take a look at these two. First, let's tackle distraction, the scattering of our attention, finding our mind seemingly unwilling to stay with whatever it is we have chosen as our object of meditation. Instead, we find ourselves constantly, find our attention constantly being caught up in thinking. Thinking in the form of words, thinking in forms of images or memories or fantasies, in the form of planning for the future, worrying about the future. Or sometimes some people maintain a sort of an ongoing inner commentary or inner dialogue, just chattering on and on. So these are all different ways in which distraction may manifest. Distraction in the sense that we find that our attention is constantly drawn away from whatever it is we want to focus on, or we want to meditate on, or we want to place our attention on. Yeah. So what is a good way, a good remedy for this situation, a good approach to adopt to help us work with our distraction, help us work with distraction? Sometimes it can also be like viewed as a kind of agitation, just too much energy. The mind seems to have an abundance of energy and not able to generate well. So it has a very disruptive kind of effect on ourselves, on our mind, on our focus. Yeah. So a good way to start to work with distractions, start to relate to them in a constructive, helpful way is when we do notice our attention is distracted, we do notice our attention is somehow hijacked by certain thoughts or worries or concerns or fantasy. What we need to do is when we do notice it, might take a while, which is not a problem. We want to invite our attention to come back to something that is more grounding, something that would help us to dissipate all those excess energy, help us to stay more connected, more grounded with the reality of this moment, the here and now, which is what's real, as opposed to what is imagined, what is remembered, and what is fantasized. So that grounding, as we become good at it, has the beneficial effect of channeling the energy differently. Give a kind of weight to a solidity to the energy that helps to calm it down, settle it down, help our attention to be able to find rest instead of attention jumping from here and there. Our attention is able to rest itself with what is real, what is happening here and now. So you can just choose one object, such as the breath, as a support, and come back to the breath. But in this meditation, I suggest you broaden the choice. Just tell ourselves, we come back to what is happening, what is experienced, and what is known in this moment, here and now, which could include sounds, sounds in your surrounding, which include bodily sensations, contact between body and fabric, body and seat, sensations of the body, different parts of the body, which could include the breath as well, and anything else that is happening in this moment. What is happening in this moment is real, is reality, and that's what we want to ground our attention, want to connect our attention with that. The problem with reality of this moment compared to our fantasy or compared to our memories is this moment tend to be so much more boring, dull, uninteresting, unspectacular, but it has the great advantage of being real. It is real, it is true. So I'm going to invite you to return your attention again and again to this moment, to come back to this moment, to connect with what you are experiencing in this moment, the sound, the bodily sensations, the feelings, the breath, and also your thoughts. You can come back and be aware of the thoughts as opposed to being caught up in the thoughts. The thing we need to accept and acknowledge is reality of this moment is not spectacular. It's very mundane. It's very unimpressive, so to speak, and quite often maybe not perfect. The breath that we come back to is not the perfect breath. It's too long, too short, too fast, too slow, too shallow, too deep. It's just not the perfect breath that people say we need to breathe, or it's not daft or abdominal breathing or whatever it is. It's just a good old breath, that we breathe in our very ordinary, imperfect way. But that is fine. Breath can improve, things can change. But what is important is we always come back to this moment. We start where we are as opposed to where we should be. So that's that in itself may have a very positive effect on our distracted mind. Okay, so let's do a meditation together, and let's start by, I'll guide you through it. So let's start by just finding a suitable meditation posture for our body as usual. Feel free to sit on a chair, sit on the floor. Feel free to lie down on your back in the supine position. So see if you can select a posture that is most supportive and comfortable for you. And while you do that, I'm going to ring this bell to signal the start of the meditation. So check in on your body in this posture. Make sure that the posture feels stable, supportive. You don't feel like you're going to topple over. Rest your hands and arms on some form of physical support so that you do not need to tense up your shoulder muscles or arm muscles during the meditation in order to somehow hold up your arms. See if you can rest the weight of hands and arms on some kind of physical support. Feel free to close your eyes completely if you find that helpful. Of course, you are most welcome, if you are used to it, to keep the eyes open or half open, whichever works best for you. In this posture, I invite you to tune into the sensations coming through at the points of contact between our body and our seat, our body and the ground. See if we can notice sensations associated with solidity, firmness, and stability beneath us. And see if we can reassure our body that it is resting on a very stable support, that the whole body is in balance and safe in this posture. Feeling supported, feeling that it is kept safe, our body can naturally begin a process of unwinding, of loosening up. The body can gradually give up on many of those unnecessary tensions and contractions in the different parts of the body, and to be able to really settle back and settle down comfortably into the meditation posture. So that's the first step, acquiring a seat for our body in meditation. And next, I'm going to invite you to return your attention to your own body. We're going to very briefly, gently, with a light touch, sweep through the body from crown to feet, just to re-establish the connection between the body and the mind, the body and our attention. I'm going to invite you to attend and notice the different sensations, bodily sensations, feelings that might be present at the different parts of our body. So let's start at the crown. I invite you to place your attention gently at the crown of your head, the topmost part of your body, and see if you can allow into your awareness sensations here, subtle sensations usually, a bit of tingling, maybe a slight feeling of pressure, warmth or coolness. And then we allow our attention to flow like water downwards, first forward into the face so that we become aware of sensations at the face. We're checking to see how we are doing here. Are we tensing up any of the facial muscles? Are we tightening the muscles of the forehead unconsciously, or the muscles around the eyes? Are we clenching our jaw? And if we do notice tension in the face, see if we can gently and consciously release those tensions and allow in a feeling of softness, of ease, of comfort into one's face. We let attention sweep through, past the sides of the head, the back of the head, come in touch with the sensations at the neck and the throat. We let our attention travel down to the shoulders, check in to see how our shoulders are feeling today. Just a light touch, not much effort. Reconnect with sensations at the shoulders. Maybe the shoulders feel tight and tense. And see if we can simply acknowledge that. Let our attention continue down both arms at the same time so that we are aware of sensations at the shoulder joints. Moving at your own pace. Become aware of sensations in the upper arms. Sensations at both elbows. Continue down into the forearms with your attention lightly touching, and just notice sensations here. Sometimes when we reconnect with our own body, that attention to the body may help to release tightness, contractions. So see if we can facilitate that process. Help the body to release more and more of these unnecessary tensions and contractions. We return our attention to the chest. Throughout the meditation, we may find that our attention is easily distracted to other things. And here we can practice grounding our attention, inviting it to come back to our own body, come back to this moment. Sense the sensations at the chest, sensations of the breath. Maybe we can notice the beating of our own heart. Notice sensation not only at the front of the body, but also at the back of the body. And allow attention to continue downwards into the abdomen. Notice sensations at the front, at the back, at the lower back. Notice sensations deep within the body, at the organs. Feel free to move at your own pace in this meditation. Feel free to ignore what I'm saying if it's not helpful or not relevant to your experience. And we let our attention gathered at the pelvis and really notice sensations here at this part of the body where powerful muscles gathered. Sense the weight of the whole body through the pelvis resting on our seat. Each time we invite our attention to come back, reconnect with a part of the body, to be aware of some bodily sensations. We are grounding our attention in this moment, in the reality of here and now. We let our attention continue down both legs at the same time, starting from the hips, down the legs towards the knees, past the knees, all the way down to the ankles, and right down into the feet. Sense the sensations in the feet, the soles of the feet, the top of the feet, sensation in the toes. And also notice sensations of all the connection, the contact between body and the ground, body and the seat. We rest our body in this posture. Rest our body in this posture, connected with the ground, connected with the floor, with the earth. And we invite our attention to come back to this moment, to come back to what is happening in this moment within the body, to connect with bodily sensations, connect with breath sensations happening here and now. And maybe you also notice the sounds in your surrounding. And when we do notice that our attention is drawn away from here and now, our attention is lost in thoughts, in memories, in fantasies, in our own inner dialogue or commentary. See if we can, without being frustrated or upset, simply acknowledge it and then invite our attention to step out of those activities and come back to here and now. So I'm going to keep quiet for the next few minutes and allow you to find your way back to your present moment reality and see if you can, in so doing, help the mind gradually in its own time to also settle down. Okay, so although it's supposed to be a meditation on distraction, I find myself encountering the other hindrance, which is downness of the mind. The mind has very little energy, not much thoughts, a lot more darkness and heaviness. So that is the mind having not enough brightness or energy. And so it's very easy in that state to start to drift towards sleep. Yeah. And how do we deal with such drowsiness or downness of the mind? Downness of the mind can be due to physical reason like tiredness. Today has been a long day. Maybe you've been very busy, been moving around, doing lots of things. And of course, the first occasion in the evening when you do sit down and settle down, all of that exhaustion and tiredness manifests. And you find that it's very easy for us to drift towards sleep. And it's difficult to arouse the energy and the brightness and clarity of mind to sustain our meditation, so to speak. Alternatively, downness could also be due to more to do with the mental and emotional states of us. When we feel very uninspired, we feel very low mood, very down. We feel a lot of disappointment or despair. So those type of states of mind, or depression, of course, has also had a similar effect. They pull the mind down, weigh the mind down, make things much more gloomy and dark, and there is a greater tendency for the mind to withdraw or to sink, so to speak. It's the traditional word, sinking mind. So like go deeper and deeper into darkness, into a lack of awareness. Yeah. So it's important then to somehow uplift it, increase the energy without going overboard, both on the physical sense as well as on the mental or emotional aspect. Physical sense quite often is if you're lying down, you're advised to sit up because that requires a little bit more effort. Or at occasion where it's possible, you can even stand up. Although standing is a much more harder posture, but it requires more energy. So that arouses the physical aspect of the meditation. Yeah. Alternatively, we can also work with downness and drowsiness by arousing the mind, inspiring the mind, giving the mind a different kind of feelings, invoking pleasant feelings, invoking excitement, invoking joy, feeling uplifted, uplift the mind away from the low mood, from emotions like despair, hopelessness, depressions, and so forth. Yeah. So there are different ways to tackle likewise downness. And today I thought we will do a meditation on rejoicing, or sometimes called appreciative joy, and is where we make an effort to remind ourselves of the good things in our life, the happiness that we have, that we enjoy, we have in the past, or we are enjoying now, the good fortune that we have had and we may still have. So the happiness, the good fortune, remind ourselves of the positive things that we have done, we have created, or we are still doing at this moment. All the uplifting aspects of our life. And the way I do this meditation is I usually repeat a few stock phrases, simple phrases that I use to remind myself, and also that corresponds to this state of appreciative joy. I will say to myself, may my happiness continue, may my good fortune not diminish. So in a very mindful, slow way, at my own pace, I would say the phrases, pause, a short pause, a long pause, and then I'll say it again. So the phrases become my support in this meditation. And usually that's how I start. I start by just saying the words. And as I say the words and as I pause, I reflect I invite my own mind, my own awareness to come forth with something that corresponds to what I just say. To remind myself of my own share of happiness, my own share of good fortune, maybe in the form of very specific memories, or awareness of certain aspects of my life in this moment, which I have maybe tend to forget or ignore or take for granted. Remind myself of the happiness of my connection with people that I love, that I care, and who also love and care about me. So they are, in a way, a blessing to my life, to have them in my life. And I can remind myself of them, remind myself the interactions I have with them, past and present. I can also remind myself of the material, the physical aspects of my life, which I can appreciate or that are wonderful and helpful. It can also be past experiences of joy, of happiness, of feeling relaxed, at ease, feeling safe. It could also be our accomplishments, our achievements, our talents, our abilities that we are proud of. So the choice is very wide. It really depends on what come to mind and what we are able to bring to mind. And so this is a meditation that encourages us to incline our energy to explore these resources that we have and to appreciate and rejoice and uplift ourselves by recognizing all these different factors that we are currently enjoying or we have in our life, and to appreciate them while they're here, and instead of just simply take them for granted or ignore them. And in so doing, see whether we are able to uplift ourselves, our mind, our hearts, with more positive feelings. So that's what I invite you to do. So let's do another meditation on appreciative joy or rejoicing as a kind of antidote to help us work with the sinking mind, the downness of the mind, the loss of motivation, loss of joy, the heaviness of mind. Right? So as before, let's settle back in a suitable meditation posture. So first of all, ensure that the posture we have adopted feels comfortable to us. Take care that the back is well supported, that it is upright in a natural way if we are sitting, and is straight if we are lying down on the back in the supine position, and that the posture does not introduce additional discomfort or pain or tension, especially to our spine. And make sure that we have a posture that allows us to be comfortable, to be at ease, to feel well supported and safe. And this will automatically encourage our body to loosen up a bit. It does not have to be so tight and tense. Persuade the body to unwind, to let go of some of those contractions and tightenings that are uncomfortable or even painful. So at a given time, our body is able to really settle down into the posture and be more and more comfortable in the posture. And for the first few minutes of the meditation, we want to help body and mind to transition back into meditation, to give body and mind the time and the space to do so. And we can facilitate that by, in this case, I suggest resting our attention on the natural breath as a way of reconnecting the mind with the body via the breath. So you might want to start with a few deep breaths. Just breathe in and out deeply. And on the out breath, remember to release. We allow the breath to settle back to its natural rhythm. And we rest our attention on the breath sensations throughout the body. So that not only are we aware of the breath sensations in the body, indirectly we are also reconnecting with our own body. Breathing in and out, see if we can be aware of the sensations of the in-breath and the out-breath. And each time when we notice ourselves breathing out, see if we can make use of this opportunity for us to release. Breathing out, maybe the body can release some of the tightness and tension and unnecessary contractions. Maybe our mind can put aside thoughts, images, memories, fantasies not related to the meditation. So coming back to here and now, reconnecting the breath, deepening the sense of release on the out breath. See if we can facilitate body and mind to really settle down and settle into the meditation. And whenever you feel ready, you can begin the meditation on appreciative joy as a way of uplifting our mind, increase our mental energy, arouse positive feelings and emotions. And in my method, we start by slowly, mindfully repeat a few phrases that are meaningful to us, that express appreciative joy or rejoicing, such as, may my happiness continue, may my good fortune not diminish. So feel free to change the words, the phrases, add or subtract, and just at your own pace, mindfully, with some pause in between, repeat the phrases to oneself. May my happiness continue, may my good fortune not diminish. And as we say the words, we allow the words to help us to bring to mind some aspects of our life that are worthy of rejoicing, they're worthy of our appreciation. It could be something in the past or present. It could be related to experience of happiness, of joyfulness, past moments of joy and happiness. Some of those memories can come back to mind, and we can rejoice in that. We could be reminded of aspects of our life that are beneficial, uplifting, things that we are proud of, things that we have confidence in. In fact, it can be of anything at all, anything that we regard as positive and anything that we are happy to rejoice in. Bring them to mind and see if we can express that rejoicing with similar words. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. So we say the phrases, we come back to the phrases as a support for our attention if we do get distracted. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. And in the pause, we can wonder what image, what memory, what idea may come forth. If those are appropriate, see if we can rejoice in them with the same phrases. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. And in this way, we stabilize our attention on rejoicing, on appreciative joy, on all the positive aspects of our own life. Coming back to the phrases, the words, coming back to here and now. On the occasion when nothing comes to mind, we're drawing a blank, we're too tired to think, no worries. Simply, slowly, mindfully repeat your phrases of appreciative joy. And say it as a wish, a genuine wish and aspiration for yourself. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. So coming back to the phrases, the words as a support for your attention. And as we say the words sincerely, see if we can pause and allow the mind and heart to respond in their own way. Sometimes we might be surprised by what comes forth. A memory long forgotten, an image, an idea, something that we normally don't consider, but now in the light of the meditation, we may find it appropriate to rejoice in those things, to show appreciation for having them. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. So coming back to your choice of words, your phrases of appreciative joy, as we say the words, we try to connect to the intention behind those words, connect to the intention of appreciation, of rejoicing. And as we say the phrases in response to certain memories, certain awareness of those positive aspects of our life, see if we can let in to our own mind and heart the appropriate feelings as well, the feeling of joy, the feeling of appreciation, the feeling of being uplifted by what we can see as positive in our own life. May my happiness continue. May my good fortune not diminish. And then finally, we put aside the words, the phrases. We look at anything positive that come out of the meditation in terms of feelings, in terms of our own discovery of aspects of our life. We gather together all this positive momentum we have created through our practice, and we dedicate them, we give them a direction so that they will not be lost, will not be diffused. Dedicate them towards the fulfillment of our wishes and aspirations for ourselves and others. we can think to ourselves that may all that is positive and good that come out of the meditation, may they somehow stay with us, may they somehow linger in our body and mind, so that they can continue to benefit us. Okay, so we can rejoice in today's meditation that we have worked on distraction and downness. Yeah. So thank you very much for your attention, and I wish you a good week ahead and hope to see you here next Wednesday. Good night.